My name is Martin Gayford. I'm a writer and critic and curator, and I have been talking to Georg Baselitz and looking at his work for at least a quarter of a century. Baselitz is one of the most important painters of his generation in Germany, in Europe, and internationally. He was part of a regeneration of painting which became to international prominence in the 70s and 1980s. Now, in his mid-80s, he's produced one of the most substantial and extraordinary bodies of work of his entire career. In 1969, Baselitz started inverting his paintings, painting them and exhibiting them upside down. It's an extraordinary move, unique in the history of art, which has become a trademark of his work. The reason for it, essentially, I think, is that it was a way of continuing to paint figurative paintings in an atmosphere, particularly in West Germany in the 1960s, in which figurative, naturalistic painting was considered to be old-fashioned. The landscape of Baselitz's youth would have been recognizable to German painters from centuries past. Cranach in the 15th, 16th century, Franz Marc in the early 20th century. That was the environment in which Baselitz grew up. And those motifs have stayed with him throughout his career. And after 80 years, he's still painting animals. One of the striking things about this painting, which is called Blue Eyes Deer, is that it was painted on the floor of Baselitz's studio. This painting and other ones done in 2023 have a new mark on them, which is clearly visible. It's the tracks of his trolley, which he uses for his material, his paints and his brushes, and also the marks of his walking frame. A few years ago, Baselitz had an exhibition in which an entirely new element arrived, very much to his surprise, which was collage, and a particular kind of collage, nylon stockings, which he stuck to the legs of the figures in the paintings. Legs and feet have been a preoccupation of Baselitz's art right from the beginning. One of his earliest series was a series of feet. Where did they come from? He's mentioned the Dada collagist Hannah Husch, who used that kind of ingredient, and I wonder if the British artist Sarah Lucas was at the back of his mind as well. She has also very often in sculptures used stockings. Baselitz told me that he borrowed the blue-green background, which is in this work, which is called Dinar Blue, 1929, from works by Picasso, which he very much admires, from just that period, the late 20s, when Picasso painted a lot of beach scenes from the Brittany beach resort Dinah. Baselitz is as renowned as he is for his paintings for his works on paper. Throughout his career, he's been a prolific producer of prints and drawings, and like every great exponent of drawing, he has an absolutely distinctive, recognizable line. Baselitz has said that he doesn't look towards the future at all. He looks 100% backwards towards the past, his own past and the past of his art of painting. For about 2 decades, he's been producing works he calls remix, changing things around, doing old things in a new way. And this current exhibition, which is called A Confession of My Sins, is like a huge summation of Baselitz's preoccupations over many, many years with double portraits of himself, his wife Elke, paintings of animals, and work from a manifesto which he produced in 1962. It's Baselitz summing up where he's got to up to now.